So behind me we have the Highlander, which we haven't talked about that much, but today we're going to talk about the Highlander because at the end of the year, they're going to start production on a fully electric version of this right here. You won't even recognize it. It looks totally different, so no longer will you be able to see a gas model or a hybrid engine because the Highlander for 2027 is going full electric. So let's walk around this vehicle just so we can get an understanding of just how gorgeous the Highlander is. The Grand Highlander is gorgeous as well, but this is where it all started, guys. So 20-inch wheels, all-wheel drive. We're going to talk about that later on in the video. And there's so many options on this model here that are absolutely amazing. So first off, we're looking at the front fascia right here. So the front fascia is going to be not as square as the Grand Highlander. You notice the Grand Highlander is a little bit taller and it has a little bit more of a square front end compared to a round front end on the Highlander here, okay? So you're going to have your LED fog lights. You're going to see sensors on the front. Also on the rear, starting in the limited model, but as I stated, this is the Platinum model here. You're going to see LED lights on the front. On the back, you see your forward-facing camera. So that's one of the options that's going to be standard once you go to the Platinum model. You have this little door here. So this actually is for your eye bolt. So if you're ever in an accident or something like that, this right here is going to attach directly to the frame. So you're going to take your eye bolt from the back side of the vehicle. You're going to screw it in right here. Take this off, screw it into the frame, and they'll be able to pull you out from the frame here. Otherwise, if you're attached to this right here, you're going to yank your front bumper off, guys. So that's what that little door is if you're ever wondering. You'll also have another here. You're going to find 20-inch alloy wheels right here. Very unique design on these wheels here. I wish they had these on the Grand Highlander. It looks very nice. No color key over fenders here. That would be nice. If they had color key over fenders here that would match the paint, that would be really great. But looking around the sides, you do have color key mirrors, integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring is standard. Color key door handles right in here, so touch that, you can unlock the vehicle. So this is something a little different that you're not seeing on the Highlander. Press these little indicators here, and you see the mirrors fold in. If I pull right here, put my hands here, unlock it, it's gonna flash and it's gonna open up, guys. So I'll show you how to set that up as well. Now up top here on the Platinum model, you do have a panoramic roof, that is standard. And you have your roof rails as well. So you're have more of a satin nickel. So this right here is a knockout where you can actually add your crossbars here for the back, and also on the front you're going to have that on both sides. Getting away around here to the back, as I mentioned before, this is a HEV right here with your Beyond Zero badging there. So clean air, clean water, clean atmosphere, so that's what that stands for. As I mentioned before, you do have your sensors on the back. That's for your parking sensors, but that's also for safety braking. So if you're backing up and somebody's in back of you, whether or not it's a pedestrian or either a car, it's going to brake. So if you have if you happen to get a towing hitch, which you can add here, okay? You can add a towing hitch here and it's going to be integrated into the bumper. Make sure you disable your parking brakes. Otherwise, it's going to see that towing hitch as perhaps an obstacle and it's going to brake, guys. So remember that if you get a vehicle that has these sensors on the back and you add a towing hitch here. So make sure you disable those parking sensors. Up top here, you do have two cameras right here. So one is actually for your backup camera. This right here is going to be for your digital review mirror. That's going to be standard on the Platinum model in the Highlander. So we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. So power lift gate, and it's also a kick sensor. So if you want to basically use a kick sensor, you can. It's going to be right in the middle. Now, if you add a towing hitch, they're going to relocate it to the left here. So it'll have a relocation. But if you want to use that, so kick right under here. And there you go. As long as you have that key on you, it's going to raise and lower with the kick sensor. All right. Now this is height adjustable as well. So if you want to adjust the height of it, you're going to press it and hold it for about 3 seconds. You're going to hear 2 beeps. You're going to hear 4 beeps actually. So there's your 4 beeps right there. So it's height adjusted. So whenever it raises up, it's going to raise it this height here. But if you want to reset it, press and hold. You're going to wait for about 7 to 8 seconds. You're going to hear 2 beeps. There you go. So there's your 2 beeps there. Now in the back right here, we do have some a cargo liner right here. So you have some access panels here. You have a 1500 watt plug-in right here. You have some JBL speakers. So in the back, there's your privacy cover. So you have a privacy cover where you can store it. It's a little bit different than the RAV. So whenever you press this button right here, that's going to expand. If we want to fold those seats down, we want to grab this little lever right here, pull up and just push, okay? Now, if this headrest is up, it's going to automatically collapse once you fold that down, once you get to a certain point. See how it folds down there? It folds down, now it's perfectly flat. You got some rooms, you got some tethers right here, so you can actually secure like loads in the back here. So you got 4 of those right there. All right, you got some cup holders there, and you also have your spots for your privacy cover that you can actually use. As I mentioned before, your privacy cover is going to be back here in the back. So there's your privacy cover there. If we want to take that out, we can. So just pull that out right there, and it should pull straight out. Now, like I say, anytime you press this button here, watch this. Guys, anytime you press that right there, watch what happens. See that right there? See how that basically extends right there? That's going to extend, so basically you can secure your privacy cover here and here, okay? But if you want to push it back in, so just push it back in and it's going to lock, okay? There you go. So it locks, and I'm going to put it right back in here. So I'm going to put this side in first right here, and then I'm going to put it right down there, and it fits perfectly, as you can see. This particular model does have a cargo net. There's your tools right there. Right here on this side is going to be where you're going to lower your tire. So you're going to take this little tool here, you're going to attach it right in here, put it right in there, and you're going to lower it. Turn it counterclockwise, and that's going to lower your tire, which is going to be underneath here, okay? There's your tire right there, as you can see. There's an obvious question that I know you guys are wondering. Where is the jack? So let me show you where the jack is, okay? So you saw your tools. By the way, this is a front bracket plate. Let me show you where your jack is, and let me show you where to find that. So we're going to take this back out here, and look right in here. There's your jack right there. So you're going to push down, and there's your jack, guys. So right behind this little door right here, that's going to lock in. So push it. It's going to lock right back in. So if you need to pull these seats up here, okay, so you're going to grab this lanyard here, pull back, pull this lever right here, pull the headrest up, and now you're set. Now, you don't have a ton of room back here in the Highlander. In the Grand Highlander, you're going to have more room behind the third row and in the third row. So if you have young kids, then the Highlander is perfect for you. If you have young adults, then you might want to look at the Grand Highlander, because you're going to have more room in the third row and behind the third row. Now, looking on the inside of the Highlander Platinum model, you're going to have this really gorgeous trim on the doors. Now, I wish the Grand Highlander had this, but it doesn't have this, and some people don't like that. But this is absolutely beautiful, guys. This is more of a sort of a luxury sort of look. If you want your mirrors out all the time without folding, you press this button right here, all the way in the front, press it down, press it once. If it's even, that's going to be your automatic. So whenever you lock it, it's going to automatically fold the mirrors. Or you can press this button right here, and you can fold it in whenever you want. This right here, side mirror adjustment, window adjustment right here. This is going to lock your windows right here for the passenger and the back. Soft touch material on the doors, which is really nice. Hard plastic right here. Some people may not like that, but it is what it is. You have your JBL speakers. This is the Platinum model, as I stated before. So all this right here is going to have, you're going to have a lot of things right here that are extra that you're not seeing like on the limited model. All Toyota models will have automatic high beam lights, no matter which safety sense revision you have. You have your 360 camera, which is standard on the Platinum model. You have your AC 120 inverter, which I showed you in the back. That's your power gate right there, so you can open that up just by pressing this button here. And then you have your heated steering wheel. This is going to heat up at 9 and 3. If you look over to the left right here, this is going to be for your odometer. So you have your odometer there, your trip odometer. You can go between a trip A, a trip B. You can press it and hold it and reset that trip A and trip B. And you also have your light level. So on the steering wheel here, on the left-hand side here, we're going to have the navigation for the 12.3-inch digital cluster. So we can go left and right. So your left and right is going to change your information that you're seeing in the dash. Or you can press the OK button. You're going to see this little cursor pop up. There's your cursor. Swing it left and right. You can go up and down to give you different pieces of information. Or you can go further left to select or deselect things that you might want to see. Let me zoom in a little bit where you guys can see that. So because you have a hybrid here, you have an EV score. And that EV score is going to tell you a little bit about your driving habits. How you start out, how you accelerate while you drive, and also your braking, guys. The better you do those, the better your gas mileage is going to be in your hybrid, okay? Now, you won't see this on a Hybrid Max, because a Hybrid Max is more like a hybrid assist. It's kind of like a V6 feel, okay? But your Hybrid Max really doesn't have these things, and because of the bigger motor, you're really not saving yourself a ton of gas. In fact, you'll see that the gas mileage, the rating is a little bit lower than the regular hybrid vehicle. So you'll see that. But anyway, so that eco score, so I'll show you how that looks later on and what that means to you. Matter of fact, let's look at that now. So your eco score there, you see your start, your cruise, and your stop. As I stated before, the better you do those, the better your fuel economy is going to be. You don't want to accelerate very hard in a electric vehicle, in the hybrid electric vehicle. You don't want to brake very hard, and you don't want to horse the engine or power or really hit that accelerator too hard whenever you're trying to pass somebody. Otherwise, you're going to see your fuel economy is going to drop, okay? And you'll see that on one of these screens here. Let me see, can I find that for you guys? So you'll see that here. So let's see whether or not we have it here. There we go, right there. This one hasn't been driven a lot, but the more you drive it, that's going to give you a estimate of your fuel economy. And like I said, the better your driving habits, you're starting out, you're cruising, and you're stopping, the better that number is going to be, and the higher that number is going to climb, okay? Now, this model here, I don't know what it's rated for as far as a tank of gas, but once you fill it up, it'll tell you there exactly what it's rated for. The Highlander Platinum model hybrid is rated for 35 in the city and 34 for the highway. So you estimate it to get a combined 35, guys. So obviously, the poorer your driving habits are, you're not going to get that 35 because you're constantly accelerating as you start off. You're horsing the engine as you drive, and your braking is absolutely terrible, guys. So your fuel economy is not going to last as long, and you're not going to get a rating of 35. And so that's just how it is. Make sure that you're accelerating nice, easy pace. That's called pulse and glide. As you get towards your top speed, let off the accelerator, and you'll see this number here start to climb, guys. I've done it for years on my RAV4, and I get about 44, 45 miles per gallon in my RAV4 hybrid, guys. So there's no reason you can't get better than the rating there that you see. The right-hand side here is going to be all about your adaptive cruise control. I can enable my adaptive cruise control right here. I can press it and actually activate it. Or if I press it and hold it, that's going to go to, as you can see, a constant right here. So the difference is your adaptive cruise control is going to brake your vehicle whenever there's a vehicle at 3 car lengths or 4 car lengths or whatever you have. So as it gets to 3 car lengths, your vehicle is going to start to brake. Now, most of the vehicles today have what they call full range adaptive cruise control. What that means is once you come up on a vehicle and that vehicle is traveling at a lower speed, your vehicle can brake all the way down to 0. And there's 3 things that you can do. You can either hit cancel, you can hit RES, which is resume, or you can tap the accelerator, and it's going to pick up the speed that it's able to obtain as long as you have sufficient clearance. So if you had 3 car lengths and you still have that car in front of you, which is going to show here, it's not going to achieve 55 or 65, whatever you set it at, okay? It's going to achieve only the speed that allows it to get up without infringing upon that 3 car distance that you see here, okay? And as you go down right here, it's going to get a little bit closer and closer to that car. So if you're at a high speed, then I recommend that you go with 3 car lengths. So now with your constant, okay, so I'm going to turn it back on and hold it. All right, so that's your constant. Whenever I enable my cruise control, which is this is your set button right here, whether or not you're looking at a adaptive or a constant, it will not engage until it gets to about 30 miles per hour, okay? Unlike your adaptive engages at about 1 to 2 miles per hour all the way up to higher speeds. But with your constant cruise control, it will only engage at 30 miles per hour, and anything below that, it's gonna disable, and it's gonna give control back to you to be able to brake. So beyond that point, if you're using your constant cruise control, your foot better be on the brakes. Otherwise, if a car stops, you're gonna plow right into the backside of that car. So make sure you know the difference between adaptive right here, okay? So what you see here sort of look a little bit different, and your constant. So your constant, as I hold it, you see that little car disappear. See it disappear? And it'll say constant speed control. So that's that. Back to this side here, and I hate to jump back and forth, but this is gonna be your Bluetooth. So if you're older Toyota owner, then you might have seen 2 of these right here. You might see where you pick up and you disconnect. But the newer models, you use this button to pick up and also disconnect. So press it once to pick up, press it again to disconnect. Volume control, that's gonna help you whether or not you're on the phone or you listen to the radio. So if you're on the phone, you'll be able to hit the plus button right here. You'll be able to increase your volume. Hit the minus button, that'll decrease your volume. The voice command, you can actually use it a couple of ways. You can actually use this to actually change your climate control in the car. So you'll be able to change from low to maybe like 72 or something like that. You can also control the fan speed. Now on the newer models like the RAV4s, you can even control the seats. So on the right-hand side right here, you do have your mist, you have an off, you have a rain sensing wipers. So if I press it down once, it's going to pass once, and then it's going to automatically activate this sensor right over here. Okay, there's a sensor right here for your rain sensing wipers. If it senses any moisture on the windshield, those wipers are going to start. You can turn this little lever right here to change the speed that it passes right here, the intensity of the rain sensing wipers. This is your back wiper, so intermittent and on, press forward, and that's going to activate your back wiper and also your backup camera washer. Now, if you need to wash the front windshield, you're going to pull it towards you, and that's going to wash the front windshield, guys. So going further to the right here, you're going to have your 360 camera, which I mentioned before is a standard feature in the Platinum model. Now, you can get that in the limited model as well, but that's not standard, okay? It's standard in the Platinum model. Right over here, you press this button right here, okay? And right here is how you activate it. So press that button right there. That's going to activate it, and this is the view it's going to show you. Now, as I turn my steering wheel left and right, you notice it shows the projected direction of the wheels right here. So therefore, I don't curve the wheels and the tires. I can get out of it. So if I'm navigating anything like that, I can go back to the regular screen. Now, you should be past the screen here, so I'm just using it for reference. But anytime I put it in park and I put it back in drive, then it's going to show me that screen again. The feature right here enables this little feature here where you can turn and see the projected direction of your wheels right here. This right here changes the view of your camera right here. So I can't turn it like I can the RAV4. In the RAV4, I can grab it and just turn it to whatever I want to see. Now, I also have a setting right here. So my setting is going to show me the cornering view. I can see the view under the car, and also I can change the color of my car. So if I want to change it to white because I have a white, I can do that. Now, looking down here further, I do have my temperature controls, my climate controls. I have heated seats and ventilated seats in the front on the Platinum model. So that's my heated seats, so high, medium, low, and off. And I can turn on my ventilated seats, high, medium, low, and off. So I have 3 zones. That's your first zone right here. That's my second zone, okay? And there's my third zone right there. So I'm 62 on the third zone and the driver's zone. Now, if I want to sync that, I can press right here and sync it. So it syncs everything to 62 degrees. Now, if I want to change that, I can change the back. Unlike your previous models in the Highlander, I can press this climate control here, and I can change the climate, the temperature, I can change the direction, and I can change the fan speed just in the second and the third row, which is your third zone. Now, if I take that off, now I can only change the temperature. So this button means a lot to those 3 right there, but you turn it off, you can only control the temperature. So this is your recirculation of your air. This right here is called your smart flow. That's on a lot of Toyota models today. Because it has multiple zones, if I press that, you notice how it shuts that zone off right there? Your smart flow is going to shut off zones that are not being occupied, guys. So just an FYI. Right here is going to be your rear defroster and your side mirrors. So you're going to be able to defrost those side mirrors as well. That's your de-icer for the windshield wiper. So if you get a little ice like we do sometimes in the Southeast in the wintertime, that's going to remove the ice from your windshield wipers on the front and also on the rear. You do have a wireless charger here. It's a little bit better setup than the Grand Highlander, I think. The Grand Highlander, whenever you put your phone in there, it sort of slides around, but this one right here has these little tabs right here. I don't know if you can see that. These tabs in the back, that's gonna stop your phone from sliding around. Make sure you guys are not putting anything, like any change in anything like that. That's what this is saying right here. So make sure you're not putting anything metal, because that metal could cause damage to your charger right here, guys. So make sure you're not doing that. Down here below, we have a USB-A right here, which is going to be your direct connect for your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And you have some USB-Cs down there where you can charge. And then you have a 12-volt right here as well that you can put an adapter in and get either 1 or 2 additional chargers there. You have different transmission statuses here. You have a Sport, you have a normal and Eco. That's going to change the way your vehicle takes in air to produce horsepower or either cuts back to conserve fuel. So just an FYI. So if you're going on a longer trip, then you might want to use like an Eco or something like that. That's going to optimize your fuel economy. Normal is the automatic selection, and then your Sport is going to sharpen your throttle response. So whenever you hit that accelerator, it's going to give you that sharper response quicker and faster. Over here to the right, you do have your parking brakes right here, electronic parking brakes. Anytime I put the vehicle in drive, watch this, it disengages. You put it back in park, it's going to re-engage. And then you have your hold button, your brake hold. If you're in stop and go traffic, maybe you're at an ATM, maybe you're at a teller or anything like that, this is going to hold your vehicle in place for 3 minutes. But you do have to have on your seatbelt, otherwise you're going to see this notification right here, okay? You're gonna see that say your seatbelt is unbuckled, so you gotta buckle that in, guys, okay? I've talked about the trail mode before. That enables your dynamic torque vectoring. What that's gonna do, if you're on a slippery surface, this right here is gonna transfer between your wheels that is slipping to your wheel that actually has traction. So that's what that is for, guys. Then you have your EV button right here. EV button is gonna help you with your fuel economy, and you can use that if you're in stop and go traffic, if you're going through a busy neighborhood, maybe you're going through a parking lot, but if you don't have sufficient charge on the battery, you're gonna see this right here. So along with your pulse and glide, use that to help build your fuel economy. So this right here is gonna be your traction control. That's part of your ABS brakes, but that's also part of your star safety system. So this is working behind the scenes to keep you and your family safe. So if the wheel spins out of control, maybe if your wheel is slipping because you have inclement weather or anything like that, it's gonna cut engine horsepower to the wheel that is spinning, and the ABS brakes are gonna bring that back into sync with the tire that's spinning at normal speed. The only time you want to disable that is if you're physically stuck somewhere and you want the tires to spin freely. So that's what that button is for. That's the only reason you can enable or disable that button. So just an FYI. Now in the Highlander, unlike the Grand Highlander, you have a different setup here. You also have a little tray right here that you can set up on the top on this little ridge right here. So you can set up on this little ridge right here. So if you want to put some things up there, you can. So there we go. So now it's nice and sturdy. So I can put maybe some change up there or something like that. You can do that. Now if you look farther down in here, you have a 12 volt right here. So there's a 12 volt there. So you have potential for some more charging. Up top you have a digital rearview mirror, which is going to be standard in the Platinum model. This is not standard in any other model outside of the Platinum, whether or not you look at the Grand Highlander or the Highlander. So if you go down to a limited in the Highlander, you will not see this. If you go down to a limited in the Grand Highlander, you will not see this. So that is standard. You can flip it. That's going to reestablish your view. So if you have any things like you headed to a party and you have some balloons in the back and it's blocking your view, flip this right here and you'll reestablish your view there, and it gives you a panoramic view. You can change your settings. So you can basically brighten it up. You can go up, you can go down, you can go side to side, you can rock it back and forth. You can even zoom it in, guys. Okay, so that's what that is for. Now if you want to go back to your regular mirror, just flip it. And that's your home link on this side. That's going to be for your garage door opener, or if you have a power gate or anything like that to your property, that's what you can use. You do have a heads-up display, which you can adjust. So let's go to your settings. You're going to look for that little clock gear. There's your clock gear, right? So back out, tap this little OK button, and you're going to see HUD main, okay? Press it and hold this right here. So we can press and hold OK again. Then we can change the brightness, which you can't really see that much because it's kind of bright outside. But it's right in here, guys, right in that area, right in there. I can go up if I want. So if I press up here, I can go up. So if I want to up a little bit, I can go down. I can go left and right. That's going to change the brightness of it. Okay, at night you can see it a little bit better, but it's a really cool feature, guys. So if you're a little bit taller, if you're tall, then you're going to want to adjust it down, okay? If you're short, you're going to want to adjust it up. Also, what I haven't covered is your JBL system here. So on this particular model, you're going to have an 11-speaker JBL premium system, and that'll have your subwoofer, which is going to be in the back, which is what we saw. So let's check out the back and see what we're going to see in the back on the Platinum model on the Highlander. So in the back here, so we do have shades, so we can pull those shades up. So shades are good for babies or either adults. That keeps the sun out of your eyes there. So more of that really nice trim on the doors, soft touch material, cup holders in the doors on both sides. You have cup holders here, okay? Now, unlike the Grand Highlander, you cannot remove this piece here. On the Grand Highlander, you can remove this piece here, but you cannot remove it here. This is a stationary piece, and you have 2 additional cup holders there. This is the captain's chairs. This is the only way this comes right here. On the hybrid model, you cannot get a bench in the Platinum Highlander, okay? You can only get captain's chairs. Now, as I mentioned before, you do have controls in the second row, and you also have heated seats for the driver backside and the passenger backside. Pockets on the backside of the driver and passenger seat, which is nice. So if you put anything in there like books or anything like that, looking down a little bit lower, you do have some USB-Cs there. You got another 1500 watt plug-in there. As I mentioned before, you do have some cup holders on the passenger doors. So you can go up and down with your armrest right here, which is nice. So there's your anchors right there on the back side. You see your tethers. And in your back, as I mentioned before, it's not a ton of space. But I mean, it's great for little kids, but as you become a young adult, like a teenager, it's not a lot of room back here in the back. Also, unlike the Grand Highlander, I don't see any USB-Cs or any plugins in the back here. So you'll see those on the Grand Highlander, guys, but I don't see any back here. Let me show you how to slide this seat back. They're numbered 1 and 2 because this is what's required to actually fold your seats. So we're gonna push that back. So pull this little tab right here. We're gonna push it back a little bit. Okay, so that's gonna be your first step right there. And your next step is gonna be there. And it's gonna fold that down. See how easy that is, guys? Now, that changes the dynamic of the third row. Now, if you're back here in the third row and you don't have anybody in the second row here, you can sit back here in the back and you can kick your feet up here. It's like an ottoman, okay? So, which is nice. I think that's really nice. But anyway, so there's your panoramic roof right there. So let me show you how that looks. So there's your panoramic roof there. And it does open. It's not a fixed glass roof. It does open. And you can stop this wherever you want. All right? So you see you have vents in the back right here. And you can open your moonroof up right there, okay, if you want to open it up. This right here is going to be your safety connect. That's complimentary for 5 years. If the airbag's deployed here to your steering wheel or anywhere in the car, then that's going to call out to local authorities, guys. So it's worth having. Make sure you get registered for that when you purchase your vehicle at your dealership, okay, at your local dealership. And then you have different settings for your lights and everything in the car, and then you have a sunglass holder there as well. The Platinum Hybrid model is going to offer you a 2.5 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that's going to give you a combined 243 horsepower in your hybrid model. If you're looking for a front-wheel drive in the Highlander, you won't find it on any of the models, whether or not you go with a gas or a hybrid. In 2025 and 2026, all your Highlanders went all-wheel drive, gas model and hybrids. Your 2026 Highlander Platinum hybrid model is going to start out at $55,750 before delivery and options. So thanks for hanging out and discussing the 2026 Highlander Platinum model. And if you find the information helpful, make sure you pass this along to friends and family. So if you're curious about the Grand Highlander, make sure you check out that video. But thanks for hanging out and discussing the Platinum model in the Highlander. If you have any questions, make sure you drop those in the comments. But thanks for hanging out. You can find me right here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, right here at Under Your Drives. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.